Welcome everybody. If I don't try absolutely hurting myself, I just smacked my elbow on my very pink wall right behind me. Let me get comfy. Because that's what I'm here to do, is get comfy for you guys and tell you a story. Pull up my pants, look, okay, you can see them. I put on a nice pair of jeans to look good for this video because I was like, I need to present myself as appropriate and professional. But instead I'm just wearing these like super tight jeans that dig into my stomach when I lean forward. So you know, that's not cool, that's not fun, but yeah, whatever. So, hello everybody, I'm Megan and welcome to my channel. I'm starting a new video series on my channel called Girl Power History. Because, you know, I am a woman, a young woman, who loves hearing stories about other awesome women in history. And I thought, you know, I want to do that. I want to tell you guys some really interesting stories about some really interesting women, and that's what we have going. So, the particular woman that we are talking about today, she was an exotic dancer. She was known for this banana costume. She was the first black woman to star in a major motion picture. She was also a spy, and she had a pet cheetah named Chiquita, and she also inspired the queen bee herself, Beyoncé. Today, for my first ever video on Girl Power History, we are talking about Josephine Baker. So let's get started. Alrighty. So, before we like officially get started and officially get into this, I wanted to explain my setup around me. As you can see, I have this very nice pink wall. I had this pink wallpaper from like a good couple years ago when I filmed this music video. Don't question it, don't worry about it. And I was like, perfect, I can tape it up on my wall behind me. There's duct tape all on the sides, but y'all can't see them because they're just off camera because I know how to film. I'm sneaky like that. I have some books over here by female authors with a nice plant covering them for aesthetic appeal. I'm going for that nice Instagram look, you know what I'm saying? I got me a fake orchid over here. This is also a fake plant for the record because I don't want to be dealing with real plants that I could possibly kill and have to worry about watering and all that jazz because nobody got time for that crap. And whatever the hell you call this. The potted plant part of this fake plant, I decoupage it to make it look nice because that is what I do. I put effort into my videos because I'm not boring like that. I'm not lame like that. I'm cool like that. I literally decoupage this dang thing because, you know, I was bored one day. But okay, now, the probably most pressing part of this setup is this picture right here. Y'all are like, why you got a picture of Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa on your desk when you're literally going to be talking about badass women in history? Well, I'm going to tell you why I have a picture of Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa on my desk. This is a very feminine space, as you can see. We're talking about women. I'm featuring female authors right here. I got a pink wall behind me. I got fake orchids, all that good stuff. And I was like, you know, we need to balance out all this feminine energy with masculine energy because this space is not just for women, it is also for men. So all men are welcomed to watch my videos. Everyone is welcomed. This is an all gendered wonderful space and I have these very masculine men to represent the masculine energy. And I thought to myself, what's better than Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa? And I was like, shoot, Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa together. So that is what we have. And so our boys right here are representing the nice masculine energy, balancing out this wonderful feminine energy, because both are great. No shade to either. You know what I'm saying? We're not hateful here. That's not what we do here. But okay, let's get into this. Because I'm not here to talk about all day my pink wallpaper, my manly boys. I'm not here to talk about all this stuff. I am here to talk about Josephine Baker. I have my notes. I printed off notes. Like multiple, y'all can't see this. I thought I could make this work. Yo, I can't make this work. Multiple, oh god. Turn page, multiple pages. Okay, that was a bust. Multiple pages of notes, so I didn't forget what the heck I'm talking about, you know. So if you ever see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. But we're not just gonna read this to you guys. I got some surprises up my sleeve, if you're new here. Again, this is my very first Girl Power History video, so you're gonna stay tuned for some nice little surprises later on in the video. But let's get started. Talking about Josephine Baker. already said, I listed off some really interesting qualities about her, some interesting stuff that this woman has gotten up to, because this woman has gotten up to a lot of stuff. Okay, but Josephine Baker, she was actually born Frida Josephine McDonald in St. Louis, I have no clue, Missouri in 1906 to one Carrie McDonald. Yes. And even at the start of Josephine's life, there might have been a little bit of mystery here. There's a little bit intrigue. Because the thing about Josephine was, even though she was a black woman, her father might have been white. Everyone said that her real father was Eddie Carson, this vaudeville drummer, but everybody knew, like, that wasn't true. Okay, because one of Josephine's adopted sons, Jean-Claude, actually said that Josephine's father was probably actually white. And this is his quote. I think Josephine's father was white, so did Josephine, so did her family. End quote. That was pretty much it. Apparently he was German or something. Doesn't really matter. Who really cares? Either way, a little bit intrigued, but moving on. So here's the thing, you guys. I got a little thingy-dings for you. I have paper dolls. Lots and lots of like paper dolls. Okay. Oh boy, my hands are shaking, you guys. These paper dolls are probably gonna get naked. Y'all are gonna be like, girl, why do you have paper dolls? Seriously. What are you, like 7? And my thing is this. No, I'm a grown-ass woman, okay? Sort of. I mean, I'm still kind of growing. I like to think I'm still growing. I like to think that these bad boys will eventually grow up, but they haven't. But that's besides the point. We don't need to worry about that. I thought a fun way to make these stories more engaging was to reenact them with paper dolls. So our main girl, Josephine, this is Josephine right here. Don't forget that. Henry and Jason will come back, I promise you. But I need some room to tell my stories. I wanted to start off her life story with a romance. So this, my said doll, who apparently is getting very naked. Now she's white, as you can see, and a female. I think we're gonna be non-binary here. So since I only have female paper dolls, some of these women are going to represent the men in this story, okay? So like, bear with me. So we have Josephine, right? And this is her husband, Willie Wells. And let me tell you, we're gonna just, these books, I'm not moving these books, you guys. They're gonna stay right there, okay? Nobody got time to move them out of the way. Okay, move her over here. So these two met. This is like the greatest love story ever told. Josephine met Willie. They saw each other across the room. And they knew it was love. They knew they came together, they got married. Greatest love story ever told. Except for the fact that Josephine was 13 and their marriage only lasted a year. So we can completely forget about Willie Wells. Willie Wells, you are not welcomed, nobody wants you, so like, forget about that. He's gone, we don't need him anymore. Yeah, so Josephine married her first husband when she was 13 years old. Josephine, girl, seriously. Yeah, that marriage only lasted a year. Like, nobody was having it. They weren't having it. She was like, I'm not having that. Okay, whatever. Well, Josephine was later married a second time to William Baker, whose last name that she actually took. She happened to be married a third time to a man named Jean Leon. Make that all fancy. And she happened to have a fourth husband named Joe Bouillon, which that marriage actually lasted 14 years, which was her longest marriage. But you know what, you guys? That's all we need to know about her husbands, because like, who really cares? We're not here to talk about husbands. We're here to talk about the awesome Josephine Baker. And with that said, since we're here not to talk about the boys, I'm just gonna bring these boys back. Sure, that make some of you a little bit happy. Okay. So, yeah, that was probably it. Let's actually get into Josephine's career. So the start of her career. The thing about Josephine was this. Girl took action in her life. She was like, I ain't gonna wait around for like nothing, nobody. I am getting out of St. Louis. St. Louis? It's St. Louis. It's St. Louis. You're gonna hate me, it is St. Louis. Okay, Josephine, keep your dress on, girl. Girl, God, Jesus. Okay. So Josephine, when she was only 15, she was like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of this town. So she straight up badgers, like badgers, that's not what badgering means. Badger, for those that don't know, means to be annoying. Okay, she pretty much badgers the show manager with the fur coat. Don't you think? I thought I was quite smart, quite clever with my outfit choices for my paper dolls. Okay, pretty much, yeah. So she badgers this like show manager in her hometown to essentially become a vaudeville star. So she's like, I need to get out of this town. And the show manager's like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. Josephine's like, well, dude, you could totally make me a star. And the show manager's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? Like, you're only 15. And she's like, I don't care, make it happen. I'm gonna become a star. And the show manager's like, okay, fine, you're gonna become a star. And then she became a star. Yeah, that's how I tell my history here, you guys. Our boys are back. So think about Josephine, I can't talk. She started in vaudeville, but she also got her start in blackface comedy. Now, let me just say, Mama Baker ain't having it. Or Mama McDonald, because technically her last name was McDonald. She was not having that. And just a side note here, blackface is obviously not okay. No one should be doing it. But Josephine was like, you know what? I gotta get my start somewhere. And you know what? It got her somewhere. Starring in blackface comedy actually allowed Josephine to land a touring gig in Paris. Those are my awesome singing skills, I know. Hope you're really impressed. She eventually got to go to Paris because she started in blackface comedy, but she didn't care because she always wanted to go to Paris, and Paris later become her dream city. She loved Paris. She loved France way more than America. So that's the thing about Josephine. She was really against segregation in the US. Understandably so, as a black woman, of course. And in France, they didn't have issues of segregation as much as they did here in the US. So for her, she was able to be free and be loved by the people, which she did. She became loved by the people. She became famous. And here's the thing about Josephine. Now y'all are like, Megan, why did you title this video The Erotic Dancer? Because that's exactly what Josephine was. She was an erotic dancer, sort of. I mean, kind of. An erotic performer. This girl, she got naked on stage, or at least partially naked anyway. She was not afraid to take her clothes off and show this part of herself. And people in Paris loved it. I mean, come on. Obviously, of course they loved it. But this is where Josephine's iconic costume, her self-defining outfit that essentially took Josephine from low-level star to world-renowned star. It was her banana costume. Now this particular banana costume was made out of 16 rubber bananas that she had on her waist. And this particular outfit made her famous. It established her as the greatest black female star in the world. Because of Josephine's popularity, I kid you guys not, beauty editors at this time, like this would have been like in the 20s or something, would advise women to rub walnut oil on their faces to darken their skin to match Josephine's. And I felt like that was pertinent to say, because we always hear about stories about how women are told to lighten their skin. This was an actual incident of beauty editors telling women to darken their skin to look like a famous black star. I mean, that's obviously no one should be changing their skin tone. Your skin tone is what it is, and it's all beautiful. All skin tones are beautiful here. We got no time for hate here, only love here, okay, you guys? But I just think it's interesting because we always hear stories about women lighting their skin. This was an interesting take, hearing about women darken their skin to look like a famous black performer. And here's the thing, you guys. The title of my video also was Inspired Beyoncé. And you're like, yeah, I've been waiting to hear this. I only came here for the Queen Bee. Wow, yeah, because Josephine Baker herself inspired Beyoncé. I mean, that's not surprising. As seen here, Beyoncé actually wore her own banana skirt costume inspired by Josephine Baker at her 2006 Fashion Rocks performance. Like, if you got Beyonce's sign of approval, you know what I'm saying? You're pretty badass, you're pretty iconic, you're pretty well known. Okay, but you guys, we're here for the interesting, juicy detail stuff. Here's the interesting thing about Josephine Baker. Well, she loved animals. Now you're like, tons of people love animals, Megan. Oh my god, what's so interesting about that? Okay. Before you click off that video, well, I should really say, don't forget to subscribe if you're liking this video. If you want to see more videos like this, okay, you should really subscribe. But what made Josephine's love of animals interesting was the animals that this girl had. Okay, the thing about Josephine was this. She had a goat named Tutui. She had a pig named Albert, who apparently was just a little bit heavy in the sides, that they actually had to open a door frame to let him through because the poor pig was a little chunky, you know what I'm saying? Was a little chunky. So they had to open a door frame, I guess, and apparently Josephine like slathered like perfumes like onto the pig. She loved like dousing him in perfumes or something weird. Apparently she also had like a snake or something and other stuff, but what was most interesting was she had a cheetah named Chiquita. Now, this is Josephine. This different business manager gave Josephine, move over boys, you're gonna move over, I'm too lazy to move you right now. Gave Josephine a dang cheetah. He was like, hey, do you want a cheetah? Josephine was like, oh my god, girl, you just got naked. Oh my god. Oh my god. Josephine, girl. Holy crap! Well, oh my god, you guys, that was very fitting because Josephine just gave you guys a show. She got a little bit naked for you. I got you dressed up in this cute little outfit that I literally had to individually cut out all of these outfits, so you'll know this took me some like time. Let's rewind. That was a rewind sound if you couldn't tell. This stage manager or whoever the heck, I don't know, some like, what the heck was it? Oh, a club owner. Jesus, I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, who was it? He was like, hey, Josephine, I got something for you. And she's like, oh, what? And he's like, yeah, I got a cheetah for you. And she's like, a cheetah? He's like, yeah, I got a cheetah for you. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll take it. Okay, great. Here you go. And I didn't think to print out a little picture of a cheetah. So we're just gonna turn this stage manager, club owner, whatever the heck, on her side, no, and pretend this is a cheetah. There you go, Josephine. She got a cheetah, pretty much. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. This cheetah was given to her so it could perform on stage with her. And the cheetah, I actually don't know if it was a boy or a girl, because I never could find out that info. So I'm going to assume a girl, but I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, my notes suck. History books suck. I couldn't find any info about the gender of this dang cheetah. Pretty much, the cheetah, Chiquita, wore this diamond collar necklace to the shows, and Chiquita, the cheetah, would perform multiple shows with Josephine and actually jump out into the audience and like scare audience members and like freak them out because there was this cheetah like roaming around in the orchestra pit or something crazy. That was it. Oh yeah, I'll show you guys. Josephine also had a chip named Ethel. Just like thought I'd throw that out there. That was it for the animals. We're moving on to the more interesting stuff. So here's the thing, you guys. You know how I said before that Josephine loved Paris? Well, so Josephine officially became a French citizen at like this point after she got lambasted in the American press. Americans did not like her. They didn't like the fact that this girl was getting naked on stage and had like cheetahs going out to orchestra pits and terrorizing people, you know what I mean? They didn't appreciate that stuff like the Parisians did. So Josephine was like, yo, I'm out. I'm gonna become a French citizen now, so she did. So, you know, there you go. So don't judge me. Okay, we're here to talk about Josephine's spy work. Oh yeah, did I mention Josephine was a spy? I think I did. It's in the title. Yeah, so pretty much Josephine was also a spy. So not only was she an exotic dancer with a cheetah named Chiquita and a chip named Ethel and a pig named Albert, you know, who was too fat to get through a door frame one time, she was also a spy. She worked for the French military intelligence. This person pretends she's French now. She's taking on dual roles because I'm too lazy to change her outfit, you know what I'm saying? So pretty much she was like, Josephine, I have a job for you. And Josephine was like, yes, I am here to help. I am here to become a spy. Interesting. What Josephine would do is she would go to all these like fancy parties, you know, because she was a star, right? So she had access to all these like super high up like fancy parties and embassies and like all this stuff. So she would go to them all and she would gather like intelligence on German troop locations. So yeah, she would gather all this info and like pass it back to whoever she was passing it back to. I actually didn't look that up. I didn't think to look it up because it didn't really seem important at the time, but maybe I should have. But anyways, to help out France during World War II. I should clarify, yes, this is during World War II. World War II. Here's the thing. Josephine, like back in the day, she kind of supported Mussolini's invasion of Ethiopia. So like all these like high up like Italians and Germans and stuff, they were all like, oh, so you're on our side? And she was like, yes, wink, wink. She wasn't though. Well, the thing about Josephine was she would come up with like interesting ways to like spread info around. And one way was she would write in invisible ink on her sheet paper, on her musical sheet paper, which again, no one thought was strange that she would carry it around because hello, she was a performer, she was a musician, she was a singer, she was a dancer, she was all these things. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of breath. Oh my gosh, how much more can I talk before I run out of breath? That's how much. The thing is, and she would also even hide notes and her underwear. It's appropriate, you guys. She has underwear on, don't worry. She's a dang paper doll, like, don't worry about it. So she would like, oh, sorry, Josephine. Yeah, so she would like hide notes in her underwear. So she never thought that anyone would try to strip search her when she traveled to different countries because she was a star. This ain't gonna be awkward like at all. So play sexy music. Okay, there you go. That was your show just for you guys. There you go. Yeah, that was like Josephine's spy work. And you know, Paris was like, that's cool. That's cool. But here's the thing, you guys. Enough about spy work. I want to give you guys the juicy, juicy, juicy details about Josephine's life. You know I mentioned like early on that Josephine had 4 dang marriages? Because like, hey, girl was rocking. She knew what she wanted. Okay. Girl also be having some affairs. This actually feels like really good on my back. You know, I got some more paper dolls for you. Holding you in suspense, suspense, suspense. Okay, think about Josephine was this. Like I said, she had some affairs, multiple affairs. Nobody be judging here, okay? But she had this affair with an Italian count who wasn't an actual Italian count. He was actually like a fake Italian count. He just like called himself Italian count, even though he like wasn't an Italian count. His name was Giuseppe Patino. No, hold on, I messed that up. Giuseppe Pepito Albertino. But anyway, we got this fake ass Italian count who's all like, I love Josephine. They're still in love with this. It ain't awkward at all to make paper dolls kiss. It's pretty normal for me. So he was like, Josephine, I love thee. I can't speak with an Italian accent, don't judge me. And she was like, oh dang. Oh thanks babe, love you too. And he was like, I really want to marry you. And she was like, oh, the thing is, Giuseppe, the thing is you can't actually marry me because like I'm still married. Because at this point she was still married to her second husband, the name William Baker, who she took his last name. And he was like, oh dang it. But you know, okay, that was that pretty much. But so, oh my god, Josephine. Okay, girl, you're just gonna stay naked. There was this other dude. He was a Hungarian cavalry, so a Hungarian cavalry, a Hungarian cavalry officer named, oh here we go, Captain Andrew. That is how we do as a YouTuber. Okay, so pretty much this Hungarian cavalry officer named Captain Andrew Zvloid. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm not even gonna attempt. It's gonna be written down here. So like, don't worry. He was in love with Josephine. Our wonderful, beautiful, naked Josephine, because her stupid outfit doesn't want to stay on anymore. Her outfit that I should say, Josephine, I painstakingly cut out just for you, girl. Pretty much this Hungarian officer, Andrew, he was like, oh, Josephine, I'm also in love with you. At the same time, the fake-ass Italian count was in love with Josephine. What the heck? The Hungarian officer challenged the count to a duel. I suck at research. The Hungarian officer got, the fudge is his name, Giuseppe, right in the arm. Hurt him. And he was like, whoa, this is my evil Hungarian laugh, obviously, clearly. And Josephine had to run in and she was like, no, stop it, stop this duel. So they stopped the duel. Yeah, because Josephine intervened because the poor cow got hurt. And that was the last I heard of their relationship. So who cares? Josephine is gonna remain naked. The thing about Josephine was this, you guys. Not only did she have some affairs with men, she also had some affairs with women. The thing about Josephine was, she was bisexual. So, she had affairs with a few different women. But I didn't bother writing their names down because I figured most didn't care. But the affair that she most notably had with another woman was possibly, probably, rumor-wise, I'm not quite sure, was Frida Kahlo, the famous Mexican artist who I will do a video on in the future. So if you want to see me do a video on Frida Kahlo, then comment down below. I shall do that in the future. Future. YouTube. So, okay, I need to stop being stupid now. But that was a part. Oh my god. Something hit my window and it scared me. You guys, I think it was just a leaf. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Finishing up the sort of end part of Josephine's life. Josephine was allowed eventually back to America. Ooh. That was Josephine crossing the pond, if you couldn't tell. At one point, there was this Miami club that actually offered her like 10,000 bucks to perform at their club, but she was like, psh, no. Because y'all segregate there, y'all don't be letting black people in. She's like, I'm not having that. So she's like, unless you can change your policy about letting black people in, I ain't gonna perform there. And guess what happened? They changed their policy and she was able to perform there. She was like, solid. Now here is some more interesting news, you guys. In 1951, at the Strut Club in New York, apparently you guys, I've been talking for the past like 40 minutes. My throat's getting kind of sore. The Stomp Club was like this fancy New York club or something. So pretty much, Josephine criticized the club's policy for refusing her service. She was allowed into the Strut Club with some of her white friends. All of them, Josephine and her white friends, they all ordered steaks. Here was the kicker, right? All her white friends were given their steaks. Josephine was given zilch. Nothing. Zero. And she was understandably pissed about it. She's like, psh, you're gonna deny me service? Like, do you know who I am? Like, I'm flipping Josephine Baker. I'm a star here. And it caused this whole like drama, this chaos. Well, another famous person helped Josephine out in this particular instance. Miss Grace Kelly, aka Princess of Monaco. She actually helped Josephine out. When everything was going on chaos at the club, Grace actually helped Josephine out. She helped her out of the club. Oh, yep, okay. Oh, that was a nice arm stretch. Maybe if I don't like whack the dolls around like crazy, then maybe they'd actually keep their clothes on better. Okay, so Grace helped Josephine out of the club, and the two pretty much became BFFs after that. And this is how I envisioned this conversation to go. Hey, that was cool. You really helped me out. It's nothing, like, you know, that's what girls are for. And Josephine was like, hey, do you want to become BFFs? And Grace was like, heck yeah, I want to become BFFs. And then they became BFFs. So there you go. And actually, at one point, when Josephine was on the verge of bankruptcy, Grace actually offered her a villa and some financial assistance. If this ain't the true love story of this Josephine's life story, then I don't know what is. But that's enough for Grace Kelly. She's gone. We don't need her anymore. Okay. At this point, the whole incident with the Strut Club, Josephine was like, I ain't having that crap. So she actually escorted this man, Walter White, excuse me, a man named Walter Winchell, not the meth-making supervillain of Breaking Bad, but apparently this reporter or something named Walter Winchell from the 1950s. So she scolds this man. Well, apparently they were like old allies, like apparently they used to be BFFs, if you know what I mean. She's like, no, I'm not having this. Yeah, so she criticized Walter, but Walter defended the club, and he actually called Josephine out for being racially sensitive. Bear in mind, this is some like old white dude from like the 1950s calling this black woman racially sensitive. Like, if that doesn't sound like a problem, then, you know, I don't know what is. And here's the kicker, you guys. He straight up accused Josephine of having communist sympathies, which at the time, for those that don't know anything about 1950s American history, It was very dangerous to be referred to as a communist back in the day. For those that have like no clue what that means, it was pretty much like Americans used to be afraid of Soviet spies in the US atomic program, and so like something to do with communism, and I don't even know. I just knew being referred to a communist was bad back in the 1950s, not a good thing. So yeah, so she had to get out. Do you remember how I mentioned how Josephine used to support Mussolini's cause, like way back when, before she started fighting for the French? Yeah, so Walter brought that old crap back up, and he was like, oh yeah, you guys remember when like Josephine used to be supportive of Mussolini? Yeah, that totally makes her like have communist sympathies nowadays. Even though like everyone had like completely forgotten about it, but you know, who cares? Some like dude in some newspaper at the time, Robert Harrison, he said this of Josephine. Josephine was a phony and outright liar who was motivated for her own cynical ends. Yeah, I don't blame her for getting out, but pretty much her work visa was like terminated, so she had to go back to France. That happened. That was drama. But, you know, we got some more segregation talk. So what we do here. So, you guys, in 1963, I'm gonna do some crunches while I like do this. Now we're gonna do some like arm curls, some bicep curls. Yeah, in 1963, Josephine joined Martin Luther King Jr. on his March on Washington, where he gave us, oh crap, I love that. Where he gave his I had a dream speech. All the segregation talk makes me just like want to exercise. So pretty much Josephine also gave a speech when she was there. Some people were like totally not having it because they were like, girl was in France for like majority of her life. She ain't no American citizen. But she was like, you know, I was born here in America, so like I can talk about it, okay? In her speech, and I love this quote, I think it's such an awesome quote. She said, I have walked into the palaces of kings and queens, but I could not walk into a hotel in America and get a cup of coffee. And that made me mad. And when I get mad, you know that I open my big mouth and then look out, because when Josephine opens her mouth, they hear it all over the world. I think it's pretty badass. After Dr. King unfortunately died, his wife, Coretta Scott King, actually asked Josephine if Josephine wanted to lead the civil rights movement. And Josephine like thought about it. Oh, poor mother of God, jeez. Josephine thought about it for like a second. And she was like, nah. But she pretty much said that her children were too young to lose their mother. So if you're like, what children? This is actually pretty interesting. Now, Josephine was no normal mama. This woman had 12 kids. Here's the kicker though. She adopted them all. Josephine was like, shit, I ain't birthing no 12 kids, oh my God. Think about this, was that Josephine's children were were referred to as the Rainbow Tribe because they were all different races. Because Josephine believed that pretty much if people could come together of different races, like it would end segregation, it would end racism in this country. But here's the kicker, you guys. So while that sounds great, this is sort of the weird part. She would actually arrange tours for people to come and see her children, like watch her children play, and she wanted to show to people how happy her children were. She said she wanted to turn her home into an amusement park for her kids to be the stars of the show, and it was a little problematic and a little weird. One of her adopted sons, Jean-Claude, pretty much said that Josephine wanted a doll in her children because Josephine would create backstories for her kids. Like she would come up with all these like fake different backstories for them or something. And I thought I would tell you guys what their races are, what their ethnicities are, you know, all that good stuff. Here we go. One of her daughters was Moroccan, one of her daughters was Korean, one of her sons was Japanese, another was Colombian, another was Finnish, well, two of them were French, another was Algerian, another was Ivorian, excuse me, and lastly, the other was Venezuelan. So she like girl rocked it, you know what I'm saying? She had tons of kids, but you know, I don't know, her parenting style might have been a little interesting to say the least. Let's end this. You gotta give me like 5 seconds to get this dress on her. Because we're here to talk about her death. That's not funny. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so pretty much here's the thing, you guys. Josephine died at age 68 in 1975. This is actually the 1975 outfit, for the record, in paper doll format, if you didn't know. History. Okay, but here's the thing, you guys. Even in death, oh my god, Josephine went out with a bang, okay? She had to go out her own way, her own interesting way. Right before she passed away, she gave this like massive performance at the Bombino in Paris. She celebrated 50 years in show business. And people like Mick Jagger and Liza Minnelli, you know, all these like famous people showed up to come watch it, right? And it got rave reviews. People loved this show. Not soon after, Josephine was found in a coma in her bedroom by cerebral hemorrhage. She later died. But here's the thing, you guys. When she was found in her bed, apparently, girl was lying. Y'all can't see that. She was lying on her bed. I'm not laughing about that. Here's the thing. And apparently, there were all these like newspapers circling around her, talking about her awesome, amazing show. So she literally pretty much passed away, surrounded by the great reviews people gave her. And like, that was it. And that was Josephine Baker's life. She looks cute in this dress, don't she? She looks cute in it. She looks so cute in it. Okay, anyway. My throat is getting sore because I have been talking for the past hour. That was it. That was my first episode of Girl Power History. And if you're new here, do not forget to subscribe, you guys, because next week we are going to talk about a female monk who got another woman pregnant. If you're like, how the fudge is that possible? Well, subscribe and stay tuned for next week when we talk about that. And say goodbye to our boys, Henry and Jason, and masculinity. So yeah, but we're only talking about women here because, like, you know, that's what the show is about. And Josephine says bye, and all the other weird ass dolls that I have say bye. Have a beautiful day. See you guys. I gotta get up now. Hold up. We're gonna end this video in like a really nice way.